Today, we are going to be hating on UFC fighters that everyone loves.
Here's the catch, though. We're changing it up today. We have 30 seconds. The other person's going to have a timer for us. We have 30 seconds to make our case and hate on these beloved UFC fighters.
And then after, the other person will make a call if it's fair or not.
There's going to be some slip-ups.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of waffle, but let's get right into it. Dylan, do you have a timer ready?
I do have a timer ready.
All right, I'll go first.
Whenever you say your first word, I'll start it.
My first person, Steve Urseg.
Go.
So, genuinely beloved fighter. I was on the hype train for the Pantoja fight. This guy knows. I was ride or die Steve Urseg for the win. I really thought he had it. And he lost the Pantoja fight by pure no IQ. He went to the ground with Pantoja, didn't fight. No, hold on, I have more to say. He convinced me that he'd win against Kai Car-France, then got KO'd in the fourth exchange. The list is starting to annoy me, and his nose is way off center. All right, that's all I have to say about Steve Urseg. There we go.
That was good.
I kind of panicked at the end there, but I had to get it all out. Is that valid or what?
I would say that nothing you said there was false. It's all valid.
Do you think people are still on the hype train or not, though?
I think people still like him. I don't know if they're on the hype train.
Yeah.
Maybe, but you never know. He could be 2 years out. It's flyweight.
That's true.
Like even Brandon Moreno was like 22-8.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they all have a lot of losses in there, to be honest. Get him fighting someone like Alex Perez and he's right back up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tatsuro Taira.
No, he loses.
Bro's getting body locked right away.
Body lock.
All right. Who's your
Who's my what?
Who's your first person?
My first fighter is Corey Sandhagen. He is by far the worst fighter in the top of bantamweight. He's very one-dimensional. He does have decent takedown defense, but we saw that against an elite grappler and wrestler like Umar Nurmagomedov that even if his takedown defense is good, it can't stand up to a whole fight against this. So he would obviously lose to Umar in the division. He'd obviously lose to Merab. I think that he would lose to a guy like Figueiredo too, because I think he could mix in the ground game. Jan has better ground game than him and probably better striking. I think that O'Malley beats him. I really just think that was 30 seconds?
That's 30 seconds, bro. You had a lot more to say.
Jeez.
Yeah.
All right. That's all I had. I had 30.
So your main point was that he's the worst bantamweight in the top 5 of the division.
And I just he's just not that good, and these up-and-comers beat him, and
he's overrated a little bit. Yeah. He does have he has like highlights. That's why, a casual fan knows Corey Sandhagen from the highlights, and they're
his
like,
back tattoo's ugly. That's the last thing I want to say.
Okay. We'll slip that in there. Pause. All right. Let's move on to our second person. I'll start off.
You have notes too. I'm going off the dome.
Yeah, I have some notes. Well, I wanted to make sure I said everything that I really felt,
All right.
Okay. Raul Rosas Jr.
Go.
Chihuahua merchant. He wants to retire too early, which puts pressure on himself to keep winning every fight. I really don't like how he made that statement. I know it's something we harp on every video, but I'm going to say it again, is that if you have these big expectations for yourself, that's great. But saying that you have a goal to retire, become the youngest champion ever by 25, it's just not going to happen. It annoys me because he's not actually that good. I think he's overhyped judging by his performances. And I think if he doesn't improve his striking, he could become extremely boring.
Buzzer beater to finish it off there.
Yeah.
No, all of that was fair. People know how I feel about Chihuahua. I think that he's overrated.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot about him because I kind of just went through the rankings to look for people.
Yeah,
and then he wasn't there. And
he's a Chihuahua merchant.
yeah, he's the 14-year-old boys on Instagram Reels and TikTok.
Yeah. I don't even think they like him because they're too cool for a Chihuahua. They don't want to get made fun of in middle school for being
saying skibbity. The Chihuahua's not that
true. Yeah, maybe that is his target audience.
Honestly, it is.
Yeah, I also love how he has a lookalike, the Verna Jandaroba. Maybe that's it, Verna Jandaroba. Like the person who looked like she's been infected with like a parasite in her brain.
Is she a fighter?
Yeah, woman fighter.
Oh, I don't know
the female lookalike of Raul Rosas Jr.
Okay,
yeah.
I know.
Her eyes are like, she looks like Plants vs Zombies type shit. All right, I'm gonna get my timer out. Ready?
I am. My second fighter, Jose Aldo. First off, we're going to talk about all-time legacy. Jose Aldo is the third best featherweight of all time, and within a year could become the fourth best featherweight of all time if Ilia Topuria passes him.
Valid.
2 more title defenses. It's so true. Next, I want to talk about the fact that he lost to Mario Batista. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're this veteran, you should be able to get out of some crappy bantamweight holding you up against the cage for 15 minutes. The way that he wasn't able to do anything, and he talks about this great defense, like Jose Aldo has legendary takedown defense. I know Mario Batista didn't take him down, but like this legendary defense, like get away from out of the cage and do something. Make it dirty.
Oh, that was short. One buzz for you. You like a quick buzz. All right. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think the fourth best featherweight, it's really going to hurt people.
Oh, people are going to be so pressed about it.
Yeah, already, like when I see have you seen this guy? I don't know if he's going viral like really recently, but I've only started to see his content recently, and now it's on Twitter blowing up. But he's making like these, top 10 greatest strikers of all time, top 10 greatest wrestlers of all time. And it's like kind of the gold and black style.
Yeah.
Dude, his lists are awful.
I've seen those.
They're so bad.
He has I think he had Adesanya as the best striker of all time.
Above Alex Pereira. Which, I mean, like, that's fair, but there was like a 4 different of rankings. Mm-hmm. Like, Pereira was 5th.
Yeah.
And he had Anderson Silva 2nd, which it's not bad. But he had like Conor McGregor 4th. It was just...
It's so subjective to striking.
Yeah.
I think Max was like 8 or something.
There's worse lists out there that he's done. He's like done ranking wrestlers, and Hamzat was like 3rd or 4th. I actually watched Robert Whittaker's new podcast that just came out. He finally spoke up about like his loss and stuff because he's been on holidays. So interesting. He got completely fake teeth on the bottom now. So he's not going to have those problems. His jaw completely intact. It was just his teeth, which is...
Oh, I feel like that makes it worse.
Isn't that the craziest thing ever, though? Like, how is it looked like the jaw, but it was only his teeth. He said that in the Dricus fight, his teeth were pushed in. They had to be in a cast afterwards to get straightened. In the Ikram fight, he had 4 root canals before that. And so
what's up with this guy's teeth?
I know. And so when they finally did the operation to replace his front teeth, they found a massive cyst in his like somewhere in his mouth that they only found when they removed it. So that's why he was getting all the infections and stuff.
Oh, so it was a cancer he had.
I think
cysts can, if cysts can sometimes be cancer.
They can, but I don't know if that one was. Mm-hmm. It was just causing like infections and stuff. So maybe he can come back just as good. That would be great for him. He said he's also developing a new fighting style because there's so much tape on him. He feels like everyone just knows what to expect. So I think that'll be interesting. He also says that he doesn't know how anyone can ever defend a Hamzat takedown. Like he generally just says like it's too good. He doesn't know how to stop it. So I thought those were all interesting things. And if you guys haven't watched that podcast, there's a quick rundown for you. All right, I guess I'm going to move on to my featherweight pick. I did it in divisions.
I didn't. Because I didn't want to hate on a band or a light featherweight.
Yeah, featherweight was really difficult.
And I knew you would pick Steve, so I was like, I'll leave it for him.
That's fair. All right, here we go. My featherweight pick, Max Holloway.
Oh.
Doesn't put any effort into hyping his fights. It's not something that you can hate on too much because I think ultimately you have to advertise your fights by fighting, which is what I said to Bo Nickel. I said advertise your fights by fighting, not by being on the main card. Just prove that you're a good fighter. He lost to Volk 3 times. Hold that L. We're gonna find out on October 26th. Brother got KO'd. That's just it. And then he got KO'd my boy Justin Gaethje at UFC 300 and sold Dylan's parlay.
None of that's valid, so we're going to move on to my next
None
fighter.
of that's valid?
Get out your timer.
All right. I'm ready.
My next fighter is Justin Gaethje.
Really
has no, technique. Although it took him 5 fights to get a coach to build up technique, he truly just goes back to his bread and butter. He has a wrestling base. He was a collegiate wrestler, refuses to use it. Absolute idiot. CTE merchant. Got knocked out by a featherweight. Who moved up. Was the number 1 contender. And then lost his title shot because he lost to Max Holloway. Will never get that gold. Will never get back to being in a position where he's going to fight for it. And he just honestly sucks. Going to lose to Dan Hooker, Poirier, and Holloway again. And probably Charles and probably Paddy Pimblett too.
It's valid. That's valid.
That was a rage pick.
No.
He was on the he actually was next to go. But
that was actually poetic. No, I like that. I think that's all valid. Justin's still I love him for the fights that he puts on, but he doesn't have IQ.
No, he's just so dumb.
He's just a brawler.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much damage he's taken, and that's is that the first time he's been KO'd cold in the UFC?
I think it was his first
Cake. Whoa! Canceled. Get him gone, buddy. I need a new podcast host. Submit your applications to be my new podcast host.
Of course, that's what I stutter.
That was gold. That's going in the all-time Hall of Fame clips right there. End of the year clips. You're on there, buddy. Oh, man.
All right, let me get out my timer.
All right. I'm going to move on to my lightweight pick. It's my boy, Oral By.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the up-and-coming lightweight prospect. He was 10-1, lost to Mateus Rebecki, who came from another division. Now, as we've seen with other fighters, other divisions, they aren't actually that good. So I think he's been overhyped a lot. I bought his shirt and got scammed out of $70 just for him to lose. I don't know why I did that. He doesn't use his IQ. He could have won that Rebecki fight. He had him on the ropes and just didn't finish him. I get that you're tired, but like, dude, just lock in. You used to fight woolly mammoths with the boys back in the day. You can finish Mateus Rebecki. And that's my time.
It just hurts. Like, he shows grit. Early losses are okay. I still got faith if you get early losses.
Yeah.
You could turn around. Even Islam lost early on.
That's true.
Charles lost early on. Max lost early on.
Yeah, it's not the end-all be-all for sure. And it's like, Mateus Rebecki isn't like necessarily a slouch. He could get into the rankings eventually.
Yeah, he did look really good in that fight.
He did. I wanted to ask you, have you seen the Oral By clip where he's like talking about his favorite sport? And it's like people on horses and they're a goat carcass?
Yeah. I was so confused. I was like, he's playing this with Nikola Jokic, like some horse racing stuff.
It's like water polo, but with horses and goats. It's crazy. All right, ready?
My next fighter is Henry Cejudo. First off, I want to take this moment to acknowledge that your coach is a goofball. He loves to advertise he's a 3-time championship coach. Goofball.
Pronouns?
That guy. Also, I want to move next on to you're the worst double champion of all time. Yes, your win over DJ was good, but when you went to bantamweight, that bantamweight division was so bad, and then it really shows right now how bad you are in bantamweight. That bantamweight division was so weak, and all these guys right now would beat any of those guys who were previously in bantamweight and at the top. None of them would be able to compete with Umar, Sean, Marab, Jan, Figgy. Thank you.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk about Henry Cejudo.
Yeah, your coach is a fool.
No, honestly, it's valid, though. He is like, I think it's far and away the worst double champ in the UFC.
Yeah.
I think that's very fair to say. I'm interested, like, who's going to be the first triple champ? The first triple champ is going to be it's going to be so hype. Because there's like 9 or 10 double champs now. Mm-hmm. It's getting stale. Islam's obviously going to become double champ. Topuria has a really great shot if Islam retires at becoming double champ.
It's just, the thing is like, I think Ilya could have done it if he was taller. He's just too short. But you never know. You never know.
Dude, think about Volk. Like, if it was anyone other than Makhachev in that title fight, Volk would be a double champ, and he's shorter than Ilya. He's 1 inch shorter.
Maybe Ilya could drop down to bantamweight.
Oh, can you imagine? That'd be insane. His brother's a bantamweight fighter, I think. 135, I think. Yeah. I'm excited to see his brother's debut. That'll be hype. He's 5-1. He's only fought complete cans so far. So I'll be interested to see how he does in his UFC debut, because we've seen a big competition difference in the UFC.
Yeah.
I'm ready for my next person, welterweight. Shavkat Rakhmonov.
No!
Come here, buddy. 18 wins, 18 finishes. That's the only thing people say about him. That's the only hyped up stat that they have about him. Yes, he has all finishes, but he got caught by Jeff Neal over and over again. His best win is Stephen Thompson, yet people think he's going to save the division. I think it's absolutely crazy. The edits are just like, he's aura feeding off of these people. The 15-year-old see Shavkat 18 wins, 18 finishes. You see him and you get hyped. Literally no head movement. And he's trying to steal Lorosenko from me. So, yeah, that's probably the worst one at the end there.
Unvalid.
He's obsessed with Lorosenko, and, it really hurts me.
All right. That wasn't valid. I don't want to talk about it.
Yes, it was
valid. You just thrown like daggers at me. This video.
I know. I picked I actually picked loved fighters.
It's funny. The thing is, when I was coming over here, I thought about we could do this video like hating on each other's favorite fighters.
That's good. I'm already doing that. Hating on Paddy Pimblett. We should do that, honestly. If this video does well, let us know if you guys want to see hating on each other's favorite fighters.
I'll have a whole scroll ready just to start hating.
The Dragon Warrior. It's empty. All right, ready?
Yep. My next fighter is Kyle Barajo. First off, I want to acknowledge that your fight or die tattoo is super dope. I want to put that on a hoodie for some Dawson's Corner merch. I think it's fire. Next up, you're a merchant of being in the fighting nerds. I think all of them get hype from each other, and it is understandable because they are doing great things. But if they weren't in fighting nerds, they wouldn't get this much hype. You also don't block your head. And anyone who thinks that you would go out there and destroy Adesanya doesn't really know UFC. Adesanya will come out there and absolutely cook you in a rematch. You don't compete against Sean Strickland. Drickus beats you. Hamzat. You really are in the next tier. You could maybe compete against Whitaker, but now that I hear that he has new teeth, you're done.
New teeth Whitaker, you're done. Yeah, he's got... you know what? I think that's fair. I like Kaio. He's hype, but the aura of the fighting nerds is just growing and growing. As soon as one of them loses... Are they getting kicked out? Do you get kicked out?
Off the island. Travis spoken.
Your fire is cooked. Yeah, no, that's fair. I think he does lose to probably all of the top 5 middleweights right now, except maybe Imavov.
Yeah.
Imavov he has a good shot against. I would like to see his grappling because I haven't gone back and watched all of his previous fights yet. I will do that eventually, but I would like to see how high level his jiu-jitsu is. All right, I'm going to move on to another middleweight. Dylan, are you ready?
Yep.
All right. Sean Strickland. Ooh. This guy, I think it's obvious. He's an... How do I explain this? I'm running out of time. He talks way too much on Twitter. That's the first thing. I hate how much he talks on Twitter. He's waiting out for a title shot. He's just sitting in the rafters. I don't think you should be rewarded for waiting that long. I think Hamzat kills him within 2 minutes of their fight. He's holding up the division while we could be getting other good fights. I want to see Whitaker versus him instead of him for the title shot. He has a boring fight style, but people forget every single time he fights because of how much he waffles on the mic. And yeah.
That was anticlimactic, that buzz.
Yeah.
I think that's all fair. I hadn't really thought about a Sean versus Hamzat matchup, but Sean's game is literally the opposite of Hamzat. Hamzat is a nightmare for Sean.
Sean keeps distance. Hamzat...
I don't know if I've ever seen Sean on the ground. Does this guy get taken?
I think he might have been on the ground against
Drickus?
a Boost Magomedov. I think they might have gone to the ground, but that was a pretty easy fight for him. That was short notice, a Boost Magomedov, and he kind of killed him. Yeah. So it wasn't that much competition. But when you beat someone with a V at the end of their name, everyone just thinks they're the same. Yeah. Even that Whitaker win over Alaskarov, people are like, oh, he beat a Dagestani. Dude's not even close to the rankings.
Dude is 15, you know.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Shara Bullet.
No.
Speaking of Dagestanis, he's a merchant of the double bullet. He really isn't that good. He beat the 40th ranked middleweight and then somehow got promoted into the rankings. Would truly get fraud checked by anyone who has any sort of grappling, ground game, or wrestling jiu-jitsu. He's a one-dimensional fighter. Yes, he has some exciting moves, but that's clearly just for clips. It does mean you're going to win a championship. I was firm that he was never going to make the rankings. This is what the UFC had to do to get him into the rankings because they knew that if he fought someone inside the rankings, he would lose. He'd also lose to Bo Nickel.
I was going to say that at the end if you didn't. He would lose to Bo Nickel 100%. That's our hot take. Welcome to our TED Talk. Charbullis sucks still.
Yeah.
But he is growing on me. I actually do like him now.
It's just they shoved him down our throat.
Okay. We're just going to move on from that. Let us know if the Shara bullet hate is valid. He's an exciting fighter. I won't deny that. But does he deserve to be ranked? Do you genuinely believe he deserves to be ranked? Because I don't. All right, this one I have no notes on, so it's going to be hard, but someone who everyone loves, Khalil Roundtree Jr. Let me talk about Khalil Roundtree real quick. This guy got a title shot ranked number 8 when there was a clear number 1 contender, Magomed Ankalaev. Do I blame him for that? Not really, because I think the UFC approached him for that, but I do think he's a little soy boy. He failed a drug test, and he came to UFC begging, please don't cut me. Please don't get mad at me for failing a drug test. He's way too serious. He takes the fun out of everything. And I don't want to hate on him too much, but this is what this video is. He ruins podcasts. Get that timer out there. He was on the Rampage Jackson podcast, and he was being so just tight.
Oh.
Tight ass, yeah. So I get that he's had a hard life, and I can't take anything away from that. He's done great for himself, but just chill out sometimes, just have a little bit of fun like Pereira. Go to South Korea.
Chill, bro. Chill.
Exactly.
Chill.
All right.
Magomed Ankalaev. the next guy to face Alex Pereira. Everyone is gassing this guy up. He came in with the narrative against Alexander Rakic that this should be an easy fight because he's going to destroy Pereira. He's the worst matchup for Pereira. Goes out there, wins a 29-28 decision win. Did not show us anything that we didn't already know about him. Yeah, we know he can strike. He's basically a certified point fighter at this point. I think that people think that just because you're the worst matchup in a division for someone doesn't mean that you're going to absolutely destroy them. You know, like Aljo versus Sean. Aljo's a bad matchup for Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley literally went and knocked him out in 2 rounds. So
that's valid.
I think that Pereira beats Ankalaev. I'm going to stay high on that throne.
Yeah, and I think Aljo is levels above on the ground than Ankalaev is. Aljo's known for his game on the ground, the way that he hangs on people's backs. Magomed Ankalaev, he's just well-rounded. He's not like an elite level wrestler.
And like he's not at the point where he's going to finish Pereira.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, does he have no submission wins or one? One? Yeah, that's wild. 19 wins, 1 submission win.
Yeah.
And people think he's this elite Dagestani wrestler.
Yeah, so.
He's not that guy, pal.
All right, your last fighter.
My last fighter, moving on to heavyweight, I have Cyril Gane. This one is self-explanatory, I think. He let John Jones ruin the heavyweight division. If you think about it, if you go back all the way, if Cyril Gane would have locked in for this fight, none of this Jones talk would have happened. We wouldn't have this interim champion with Tom Aspinall and this whole thing. However, if Tom Aspinall does get a title shot and it's the biggest UFC heavyweight ever against John Jones,
then we love him.
But he left fighting to go film some movies. He's going to get destroyed by Tom when they fight. Jones paid him off to win, and he's French. Boom. That's the last thing. Hold that L, French people.
What was the Tom Aspinall news that came out this morning? Was it?
It was something just nothing burger.
Important.
Yeah, nothing burger. People were like, John Jones news. Nah, buddy. All right, last one for you.
The last fighter of the video. I actually don't know if anyone actually loves this fighter, but people in our comments seem to love this guy. The man from Georgia, the bantamweight champion, Merab Dvalishvili. Here we go. First off, I think that you lose in a rematch to Sean O'Malley. There clearly was something wrong with Sean O'Malley. You're so boring. You go to the biggest stage of all time, this biggest spectacle in mixed martial arts history, and you go out there and you lay on a guy for 5 rounds, and you actually almost lost that fight with just laying on him because you did that little damage. If judges actually stuck to what they say it's scored by damage, you would lose every single fight. Sure, you went on this long win streak, this 10-fight win streak, and then got your title fight. You were well-deserved, but no one wants to see you as champion. Umar goes and kills you.
That's valid. Well, I don't know if the Sean fight was super close. I don't know. Sean obviously has potential to win the rematch, but I think it's more likely Merab wins. I think Umar kills him. I think that's valid. And yeah, why does our comments love Merab?
Dude, they love him.
It's so weird.
They must all just be from Georgia.
I guess so.
They saw we had a Georgia flag and they're like, oh, I like these people.
Yeah, we love Ilya, and then Merab is sus. It is crazy that Georgia, for such a small country, has 2 champions.
Shout out Georgia.
Shout out Georgia. We just hated on your boy, but shout out Georgia.
What a time. What a time. All right, that's going to do it for us today. Let us know what you thought of this concept with the 30-second timer. I liked it. I thought it added a little bit of extra excitement. Made sure that we couldn't waffle for 40 minutes about this kind of video. Remember to, guys, go down, subscribe. You've been loving the stuff lately. We've been loving you. So we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
See ya.